Hello, this is Silent Meditation. I hope you are doing fine. Today, I want us to understand the concept of the Trinity and why it makes perfect sense in Christianity that Jesus Christ is the Creator, and why it makes perfect sense that God is a triune God or God is a Trinity. Now, this video is not only targeting Christians, but this video is also targeting anyone who is not a Christian, but just wants to understand the concept of the Trinity. Now, first of all, in the Christian faith, whenever we are talking, whenever we are talking about God, or whenever we are using the word God, we are referring to the Creator. In the Christian faith, this is very important because a lot of people, depending on their religious background or where they are coming from, when they use the word God, they are referring to their definition of God is totally different. Sometimes some people use the word God, but they are not actually referring to the Creator. That is why some people believe they are gods or believe they are multiple gods. Okay. The Jews, after Moses came to deliver them from Egypt, have always been expecting a Messiah to come. And up to date, they are still expecting a Messiah to come. Now, the Messiah that is to come in the Jewish concept, it is actually believed that that Messiah is going to be the Son of God, the true Son of God. Now, when we say Son of God, some people may argue that, oh, in the Bible, a lot of people are referred to as Son of God, Son of God. Yes, it's true. Anybody can be referred to as Son of God. But mostly we always forget that sometimes meanings of sentences or meanings of certain statements mostly depends on the context in which the statement is made. It's not actually depending on the meaning of the statement. Okay? But most often, certain statements, even in our own language, certain statements can have various meanings, but you actually know what the person is talking about depending on the context, sometimes even depending on the mood that the thing is said. So if you look at the Bible referring to Jesus Christ as the Son of God, and the context in which it is used, and the context in which the people of the Jews understood it, and even the reason why Jesus Christ was killed, is all because the people understood that he was actually referring to himself as the Messiah. And the people understood that the Messiah is actually going to be the real Son of God. Now, I don't want to use the term biological son, but I think this concept will shine more light into what I want to say. For instance, if someone says, oh, this man is my biological father, as a human being, note, we are all human beings. No one is an animal. Okay, we have animals and we have human beings. Human beings give birth to human beings. We've never seen a human being give birth to an animal. That's in the human context. Now, let me use the term biology. Let's say Jesus Christ is the biological Son of God. What does it mean? Now, I'm going deeper. So, if I say Jesus Christ is the biological Son of God, Basically, I'm trying to say that in the biology of divinity, because God is divine, God is not a human being. So, in the biology of divinity, if God can beget a child, if God can beget a child, then it means that in his divinity, he is producing a child that is divine. Okay, he's producing a child that is divine. So, in divinity, a divine child and a divine father, they are different because one is a father, one is a child, but they are all divine. They are all of the same source. They are all of the same substance. They are all God. Now, if a normal human being, if I have a child, my biological child, I'm a human being, my child is going to be a human being. Okay? If a goat has a child, the goat is a goat, the child is going to be a goat. There is no way a goat can give birth to a cow. There is no way a dog can give birth to a goat because I will not even say biologically, but I'll still use the word biologically. We only beget or we only give birth to what we are. So if God has a child, then it means the child is going to be divine. Now, I know a lot of non-Christians at this point in time will never agree with what I'm saying. Now, I'm now going to go into reason because I believe that faith goes very well with reason. Everything has to be reasonable before you believe. You don't just believe things because it is said, but it has to be reasonable. Now, let's go. Now, you see, the Trinity is talking about three persons of God. As I said, it's God that reveals himself to man. We don't study God to find out how he is. We only recognize what he has revealed. Now, the Trinity is just a description of the nature of God. Now, the Trinity consists of three separate divine persons. That is the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Normally, a lot of people don't have problem with the Holy Spirit, okay, because in the Bible Jesus clearly states that I will send my Spirit. So a lot of people don't really have a problem with the Holy Spirit. But the relationship between the Father and the Son is what is mostly confusing because some people ask, if Jesus Christ is God, he never referred to himself as God. If Jesus Christ is the same as the Father, how can Jesus Christ pray to himself? If Jesus Christ is, and these are all logical questions, and these are all very intelligent questions, okay? Now, this is, in my own way, this is how things make sense. We are now going to understand the Trinity from the attributes of God. Just one of the attributes of God. We are going to understand it logically. Now, we say God is eternal. Eternal. If we say God is eternal, what do we mean? Okay. Now, in Revelations, they try to describe eternity by saying that one day appears to be like 5,000 years in the eyes of God, and 5,000 years appears to be like one day. Now, how do we understand eternity? If we say something is eternal, it does not have a past, it does not have a future. Okay, it is always present. So God is always present in the past, God is present in the future, and God is present now. He never changes. And God does not have a beginning and an end. Okay? So, and the eternity of God sometimes is represented as in Revelations, where Christ says, okay, Jesus Christ says, but I don't want to say Jesus Christ says, because I know some people watching this video don't believe that Jesus Christ is the same as the Father. So the Father, normally these terms are used to describe the Father as the Father is the Alpha and the Omega. Okay, so the Father is the beginning and the end. Okay, so if you can only be the beginning and be the end if you have no beginning and end. Okay, all creatures from angels, okay, to human beings. Actually, in the Christian concept, man is eternal. Our souls are eternal, okay? And the creator and the angels are also eternal, meaning once you are created into existence, God, in their concept, God, or in the Christian concept, God created us in such a way that once you are created in existence, you are eternal. You will exist forever. Okay, but the difference between we human beings, angels, and God is that angels have a beginning. Human beings also have a beginning. We were all created by God. And this is one of the things that separates a human being from the creator. Now note, every time I'm using God in this video, I'm referring to the creator. So don't get it confusing. So there is no way an angel or a human being or whatever can be the creator or can be God. Because as I said, every God, the word God in this video is referring to the creator. Because in Christianity, when we say God, we are referring to the creator. So now, if the creator is eternal, how is the eternity of the creator different from us? The only difference between the eternity of the creator and us is that our eternity has a beginning, and that is God creating us or God bringing us into existence. But the eternity of God has no beginning and it has no end. Now, the eternity of the angels and human beings is also coming from God. It's not like God is the one who has created us to be what we are. That is why we are also eternal, but not the eternity of the Creator. Now, if the Creator or if Yahweh is not having a beginning and an end, now the question is, why is Jesus Christ the same as the Father? Now, if Yahweh does not have a beginning and he does not have an end, now let's say normally in the Bible, or it even makes sense when you look at this attribute of God, they say before God created you, he knew you, or before God created man, he knew man. And this is very important. Before God created anything, be it angel or human being, before God created us, he knew us. So the question is, how did God know us? Now, God is out of or outside existence. All existence, not only physical existence, all physical and spiritual existence, God the Father is outside that physical and spiritual existence, because God the Father he is the author, or he is the source, or he is the creator of that existence. So the Father is not in the existence. He is basically out of existence. And it is out of him that creation has a beginning. And even though in Christianity we say world without end, meaning the existence will not come to an end. And that is because God created, in the Christian concept, God created the world to be there forever. If I say the world, I'm not talking of just physical world. I mean both spiritual and physical. That's what I'm talking about. So the Father is eternal. He has no beginning and has no end. Now, before the Father creates anybody, let's imagine that the Father has a brain or has a mind. Before the Father will say, oh, I want to create someone, the Father first have to think of the person. Okay, the Father first has to think of the person. And before the Father thinks of the person, it means that even before we became, because the Father is eternal, it means that even before the Creator, or before the Father, even though, I just want you to understand this, even though God is eternal, has no beginning, has no end, for the purpose for you to understand where I'm coming from, I'm just making this assumption. Before the Father even thought of maybe bringing creation into existence, okay, the moment he thought of bringing creation into existence, at that moment, all of us existed in his mind. Let's imagine that the Father had a head of a human being, and he had a brain. So meaning that, let's say, architects, before they even design a building, it first starts in their mind. Before the creators, even before they design an art, it first starts in their mind. So let's say the Father is having a mind. So the creation starts in his mind. Okay. Now, in the Christian concept, it is believed that God actually sent a Messiah because of the promise he gave to Adam. He actually sent a Messiah to come and save Adam. Okay. Now, if God is eternal, meaning that even before God creates the world, God knows how everything will occur. Note, God created us with free will. That doesn't mean that God is the one making us to do what we are doing. The thing is that we have the free will to do whatever we want. But God knows the decision that we will end up making with our free will. It doesn't mean God is the one causing us to make the free will. For instance, Bishop Fulton Sheen said something like, let's say you're a spectator watching a football match and you know how the game is going to end, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you are the one causing the game to end that way. So God, because God is eternal, He knows how things are going to end, but He is not the one causing the things to happen. We ourselves are making our free choices. If I say we as, I'm not talking of only human beings, but the angels as well. Okay? So before even God created man, or God knew that man will fall. Okay, God knew that He will have to save man. As I said, God is eternal. He has no end, He has no beginning. So God knew that man will fall. And God knew that He had to save man. So in the beginning, before God even created the world, God knew that He had to save man. And God knew that He had to come. This is the most important thing. God knew that He had to come. Note, if I say God, I'm talking of the Creator. So the Father or God knew that, or Yahweh knew that He had to come in the form of a man to save man. Because in the Jewish concept, when they are saying the Messiah, the Jews actually believe that the Messiah is going to be Yahweh, God Himself. But what the Jews disagree with Christians is that they don't believe Jesus Christ is the Messiah. But the concept about the Messiahship is understood the same way, but just that they don't agree about the who is coming to do that. Okay. I will not say all the concepts, but some of the concepts are understood the same way, but just that they don't agree about the who is going to do that. Okay. So before even God created man, God knew that man had to be saved, and God knew that He had to come and save man, and God knew that He had to come into this world to save man. And God knew from the beginning that He had to become a man. So let's say that before God even created the world, God knew He had to become a man. So now this is it. If God is eternal, meaning that God is a man even from the beginning of time. I don't know whether I get to my concept here. Because if the Father is eternal, meaning that before the Father even created the world, before the Father created Adam, the Father knew Adam would fall. And before the Father created Adam, the Father knew that He would have to send a Messiah into the world at some point of time to save Adam. The Father decides to send the Messiah. The Father knew that it is only He, God, that can save Adam. So even before the creation, in all eternity, the Father knew that He had to become a man. Okay? So even before creation, because creation is not like, for example, the Christian concept of creation is not like God is creating the world small. In the beginning, the world was created, bam. And the world was created from in the beginning eternally. But just that with time, the creation of God is what? Is blooming, or let me say is unfolding. So for instance, if you were born in 2023, it doesn't mean God created you in 2023. God created you the very day He created Adam. But it was appointed that you will be born in 2023. So the day that God created Adam, God knew that He had to save Adam. And God Himself, had to come and save Adam. and he, God himself, had to become a man. So, if God is eternal, indirectly it means that God is a man. Indirectly, it means that God is a man because God, even before he created creation, he knew that he will have to come into the world someday, okay, to save. In conclusion, it is said in 1 John chapter 18 that no one has seen God, okay, but only the Son, okay, who himself is God, and he has come to reveal God. Okay. I'm not quoting verbatim, but I'll put the quote in the video, 1 John chapter 18. This is why Jesus Christ is the creator himself, because God is eternal. So if the Father is eternal, then it means that even before the Father brought existence into existence, the Father knew that it will be appointed on him at a particular point in time to come and save man. And Jesus Christ, being a full man, okay, it means that even from the beginning, Jesus Christ is the same as the Father. Now, what makes the Father different from Jesus Christ? Yes, the difference is that even though Jesus Christ is the same as God, but in the Trinity, they don't say Jesus Christ is actually, they also say they are different. As I said, the Trinity is just a description of what God has revealed to man. So when God came to Abraham, that is where God revealed himself as the Father of Israel and as the Father of everyone. So God is actually, if I say God, I mean the Creator. So the Creator is actually a fatherly figure. So that is why we human beings, because of that revelation God gave, that is why in Judaism they refer to God as Father. In Christianity, God is referred to as Father. And I don't know if in Islam God is referred to as Father. I'm not really I can't tell about that one. But I know it makes sense that they will also refer to God, the Creator, as their Father. Now, one of the Christian concepts is that in the Trinity they are different. The Father is different from the Son. Now, this is not so complex to understand why they are different. The reason why they are different is that the Father is not known. Let me put it that way. The Father is not known, but it is Jesus Christ who is actually known to us. Okay, it's Jesus Christ who is actually known to us Christians. And we believe that Jesus Christ was, even though he was God that became man, but he was a full man. He was a full man in the sense that all that we are going through, we're able to experience pain, we're able to experience suffering, we're able to experience um, a whole lot of things. Okay, so there are certain attributes of Jesus, even though Jesus is the same as the Father, but there are certain attributes of Jesus that differentiates him in a way from the Father. And those are his human attributes. And as I said, the Trinity is just a revelation. The Trinity is not like, I don't know how to put it, but it's just, in a way, just a description of the God that we serve. So in Christianity, if they say God is a Trinity, we are just trying to say that the Father became a man, a full man, not a patch, a full man or a full human being. And because he became a full human being, it reveals to us a human nature of the Father or a human nature of the Creator. And that is what we know about Christ. And that is what all Christians, we want to emulate, or we want to be Christ-like. So if we say we want to be Christ-like, we want to be like the human nature that God has revealed to man. And that human nature is not about us, it is about God himself. So God is the one revealing his human nature to us. So Trinity is saying that God the Father is different from God the Son, and God the Holy Spirit is different from God the Father and the Son, because they are all giving us different aspects of God, or they are all revealing to us different aspects of God. Okay, they are all revealing to us different aspects of God. So the fatherhood of God, which is Yahweh, is revealed as not like a human being, and the Messiah is revealed is an aspect of God that is related, which is more like a human being. So the Trinity is just different natures of God, which is referring to the same existence. And it's just a description. So in Christianity, it is believed that God is one. So the Trinity is not saying that God is three different different gods. No, the Trinity is saying that God is one, but God has revealed himself to us in three different aspects or three different natures. So if we are putting or describing the nature of God that God has revealed to us, it only makes sense that we say God is a Trinity. So if I pray and I'm saying God the Son, in my mind, I'm praying to an aspect of God. It doesn't mean I'm not praying to God, but I'm praying to an aspect of God that has been revealed, that he himself revealed to man. If I'm praying to God the Father, I'm actually praying to an aspect of God that he himself revealed to man. If I'm praying to God the Holy Spirit, I'm actually praying to an aspect of God that he himself revealed to man. But it is all to the same entity, or to the same substance, or to the same individual. That is why God is one. Okay, but there are three persons. Or basically, let me go in psychology. I think it will make sense. For instance, they are trying to say that God has three personalities that he has revealed to man. but it's the same thing. We human beings, there are people who have multiple personality, where it is a disorder in psychology. So if someone is exhibiting three personalities, it does not mean that the person is different. It just means that what the person is revealing to you, the observer. In our relationship with God, we are only observers. We are only observing. We don't know God. We cannot know God. In fact, it is impossible to know God. We are only observing. And as we are observing, we are only describing what God is revealing to us. So God has revealed that He Himself in a fatherly figure, in a human figure, and in a spiritual figure. That is why we say the one God can be described as being a Trinity. Even we human beings, we are Trinity, even though a lot of people might not agree. But in the Christian perspective, the human being is made up of body, soul, and spirit, but it's all one individual. Let me put it that way. So we have like three personalities, because the soul, from Christian theology and doctrine, the soul, things that the soul like is different from things that the body likes, or things that affect the body, like killing the body. It does not affect the soul. And things that affect the soul are different from things that affect the spirit. So the spirit is, all these three are independent, but at the same time, they all make up one individual. And the Trinity is just passing the same concept, that it is based on what we observe and what God has revealed. So God first revealed Himself as a father to Abraham and to the nation Israel. So if you say God is our father, it makes sense. Yahweh is the father, it makes sense. Everybody knows where you're coming from. Now, God also revealed Himself as the Messiah. And the Messiah in Christianity, Jesus Christ is the Messiah. So Christ is actually the, let me say, the biological son of God. All of us are not, all of us, we are biological sons of Adam. But Christ is the only one who is the biological son of God. I'm using the word biology because I just want us to understand exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, so God became a man. So Christ revealed to us the human nature of God. So this is not like we are the ones saying that God is a human being. No, but God became a human being. And what did He do? He revealed to us a human nature. That He lived in this world. He was sinless. Okay, he was actually a righteous man. He walked among us. He taught us certain things. Okay, so all those things that He taught us, no, was all about Himself. So He was revealing Himself to us. And this mostly takes me to Philip. When Philip asked Jesus Christ that, show us the Father, after Jesus Christ resurrected from the dead, and Jesus Christ was talking about the Father, Philip said, show us the Father. And Jesus Christ looked at him and said, oh, Philip, I have been with you all this time, and yet you still do not know me. And this is an observation that I've made. If you are reading the Gospels, if you observe or you pay attention to the context, you will realize that Christ was exhibiting some, in psychology, what people would say, multiple personality disorders. Multiple personality disorder. Because sometimes when, even though this is a biography, it's not like it's a video or something, but this is an account someone is giving. So it is debatable. But when you are reading some of the Gospels, in Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, one of them to be precise, the way the writer presents the whole story, and when Jesus Christ is talking, sometimes when you listen to him when he's talking, sometimes he talks like a human being, like one of us. And sometimes he talks like he is not one of us. If Jesus Christ was born today, everybody will say he's mad. People might say, oh, this guy is not normal because he's exhibiting multiple personality disorder. So sometimes he talks like he's one of us. Sometimes he talks like he's not one of us. And all these are just trying to tell us that even when he was on this earth, he was still exhibiting two personalities. Okay, he was still exhibiting two personalities while he was on this earth. That is why when Philip asked Jesus Christ that, show us the Father, this is where the personality of the Father popped up. And he said, oh, Philip, I have been with you all this time, and you still do not know me. How can you then say, I should show you the Father? So you could see clearly that at this particular point in the Gospels, Jesus Christ was exhibiting a totally different personality and trying to let us understand that he is not just a man. So we shouldn't be deceived by our eyes and what we see. It is more deeper than what we think. Even though he was God and took the form of a man, he did not consider himself equal to God. He never considered himself equal to God. And as I said, the Trinity is just an observation. Jesus Christ never considered himself equal to God, even though he was God. So, he not considering himself equal to God means that he's trying to tell us that me that have come into your midst, I'm not the same as the Father. I'm actually a different aspect of the divine God or the divine being. That is why we say the three divine persons are different, but they are all referring to the same individual, and that is the same God. I hope that this video makes you understand my point and the whole Trinity thing. So thank you for watching. Share this video and please subscribe and encourage me to make more videos. Have a nice time and God be with you.